Hello friends, welcome to Viva Exams. Today we are gonna do part 4 of the expected Mahatma Gandhi MCQs. Basically we are dealing right now with the South African phase of Mahatma Gandhi. So without any further delay, let's begin. Excluding the paid workers, the settlers of the Phoenix farm were required to make a living by manual labor. How much land was given to each labor? Now guys, this was not 1 acre, not 2 acres, this was 3 acres of land which was given to each of the laborers. So the answer is 3 acres. Please make a note of that. On the pattern of Phoenix Farm, Gandhiji started another cooperative farm known as Tolstoy Farm near. This was near Johannesburg. So straightforward question, straightforward answer. In fact, in my last video, I made the mistake of saying that Sabarmati was established in 1910. It wasn't. First came the Phoenix, then came Tolstoy, then came Sabarmati, and last Varda. So just make a note of that as well. The Tolstoy farm was used as a home for passive resistors and their families, who provided the land for it free of any rent or any charge. Basically, the land was given free of cost by one gentleman by the name of Herman Kallenbach. This is H, not K. So this was the gentleman who gave this land to Mahatma Gandhi, and basically 3 acres of land was given to everyone. Moving on. In which month of 1910 did the first batch of Satyagrahis come and work to live at Tolstoy Farm? Now they are asking in which month of 1910. Now these are questions which if you do not know the answer, you do not know the answer to them. So it's no use even trying. If you have not got the slightest idea, I mean, if you even know 1910, it is good enough. So anyways, this was in June when these guys came. Moving on. Which of the following statements is incorrect in regards to Tolstoy Farm? It was smaller than the Phoenix Farms. This was actually bigger than the Phoenix Farm, so the first statement is incorrect. But just for knowledge sake, we might like to know that the building work was planned by H. Kallenbach. Basically, he was the guy who gave all the land for the Tolstoy farm. So, yes, the men's quarter was separate from women's. We know that Mahatma Gandhi at that point of time was trying to promote men and women living separately, and there were no cots on the farm and all slept on the ground. So, this is also correct. To bring the Europeans and Indians closer together and to educate the public opinion, Gandhiji launched a weekly Indian opinion in South Africa. From which city? A lot of times this question has been asked that who wrote Indian opinion. So the question might come Indian opinion as well. This was Gandhiji's publication, and he started it from Durban. So make a note of that. As in the case of Boer War, Gandhiji raised an Indian ambulance corps once again during the Zulu Rebellion, which broke out in Natal. So there was another rebellion which went by the name of Zulu. So these guys rebelled, and so Gandhiji started another ambulance corps just like he did for the Boer War. And the war happened in 1906. So yes, so they have asked us basically they have asked in which year it had broken out. So this was 1906. That is the correct answer. How many volunteers were there in the Zulu Rebellion? Since this was a smaller rebellion, so not many people were involved in this operation, and Gandhiji started it with 24 people. So the answer is 24. Gandhiji held the rank of Sergeant Major in the corps, which remained active for a period of. Now, this rebellion started and ended pretty early. So basically, 1 or 2 months. So the corps was just there for 6 weeks of time. So that is the answer. Gandhiji organized a hospital during the outbreak of plague in 1904 in. So basically, there was a plague which happened in 1904, and Gandhiji organized an hospital. And this he did in Johannesburg, since Tolstoy Farm was closer to Johannesburg, so the answer would be also Johannesburg. To devote his maximum time to the Satyagraha struggle in South Africa, Gandhiji gave up his legal practice. Now, Gandhiji decided to give up his legal practice altogether, and he wanted to devote more time to the cause of Satyagraha. And since it was very close to his heart, so this he did in the year 1910. Same year he started the Tolstoy Farm, so basically he wanted to concentrate more on his endeavors. When he gave up his legal practice, he was making the sum of dash annually. So how much money was Gandhiji making at the time when he gave up his legal practice? This guys was the answer to this is 5 to 6,000 pounds. Basically around 5,000 pounds were being used for the upkeep of Phoenix farms. So which was a lot of money at that point of time if you look at it. But these places were really close to his heart. So it is always good to do some social work like Gandhiji was doing at that point of time. Okay, the same question. Most of the Gandhiji's savings were devoted to upkeep of his farms. The Phoenix farm alone costed him, as I already told you, the answer is 5,000 pounds. To protest against the anti-Indian ordinance issued by the Transvaal government, the Indians resolved not to submit to the ordinance and suffer the penalties for it. This began the actual Satyagraha campaign in South Africa. What day was it? Now, there was an ordinance which came out and was issued by Transvaal government. Basically, they wanted to penalize the Indians for being so good. So they passed an ordinance, and Gandhiji decided to begin a satyagraha. And this started on September 11, 1906. So that's an important date. The first ever satyagraha which happened ever. This was in September 11, 1906. The Indian community decided to send a two-member committee to England to represent their case on the new ordinance. One of them was Gandhiji. So basically, the Indians decided to send someone over to England and fight for them. And they decided on sending two people. So one of them was Gandhiji, and the other one was H.O. Ali. We're not looking at the options as it will just cause confusion. So might as well just know the answers to these questions so it is clear. When was the first Hartal organized by Gandhiji in South Africa? So this is the very first Hartal which ever happened by Gandhiji. I mean, there are a lot of Hartals which Gandhiji initiated later on during the freedom struggle, but this was the very first one. So guys, this happened on July 23rd, 1908. A very important date again, just like 11 September 1906. With two breaks, Gandhiji stayed in South Africa for a period of. So basically they are asking how long did Gandhiji stayed in South Africa, including the two breaks. So Gandhiji went to Africa in 1893, almost 21 years he stayed there, almost 21 years, which is a very, very long time, come to think of it. Next. How many times was he arrested during the struggle period in South Africa? So basically they're asking how many times was Gandhiji arrested while he was fighting for the cause of Indians in South Africa. So the answer to this, guys, is he was arrested 6 times in total while he was fighting for the cause of the Indians in South Africa. He was imprisoned for the first time in South Africa on January 10, 1908 for the failure to leave transfer. Identify the period of his imprisonment. Again, one of those questions, if you don't know the answer, you just don't know the answer. So he was imprisoned for 2 months. Luckily, I'm there to tell you that. And yes, that's the answer, 2 months. At which place in South Africa did Gandhiji suffer a solitary confinement? So basically, Gandhiji was not put with any other prisoners. He was given a solitary confinement. And they're asking us at which place in South Africa. Okay, guys. Basically, he was kept in solitary confinement in a couple of places. He was kept in solitary confinement in Johannesburg. He was kept in solitary confinement in Pretoria. Oxford, no. So the answer would be C in this case, both A and B. So these are points which are quite important. So guys, this brings us to the end of part 4 of Gandhi MCQ's South African phase. I hope you are liking my channel and do like and subscribe. So I continue to bring you more questions like these. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.